Command the code, scale with precision. AI playbook built for decision. Process tight, we move with vision. 3 minds lead in the next edition. Command the code, optimize moves. From the data to the brand we improve. Unlock growth, set strategy bold. Prompt commander, let the future unfold. AI lock in, we don't guess work. Every prompt clean, every step got purpose. Streamline tasks, automate flows, turn your ops to a beast, watch efficiency grow. John breaks walls with the code first brain. Rewriting limits, real-time game. Allan, everyday scope made smooth. He maps the mission while the system grooves. Tim got tools for the team to win. Plug it in once, watch success begin. Corporate sharp, enterprise smart. We don't chase trends, we built from the start. 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 We built from the start.
Welcome to the Prompt Commander AI podcast, where AI meets business reality. I'm Tim Roper, and I'm here again with Allan Dubon and John Weidow. Welcome, my brothers. Glad to have you here. So today we're going to make this really real, but I got a letter that really hits home here, because this is not just a problem out there. And this is just something that people are really, it's not a problem just for one person out there. I think this is across the board out there. But here's what I got. First off, love the show, so thank you. I've learned more from your episodes in the last month than in years of running my business. I'm going to leave out their company name, but they're small but growing, a growing flooring company out in Delaware. And they say, honestly, I've been hitting some serious walls lately. We get decent work from word of mouth, but I feel like we're invisible online. Every time I try to run ads or send emails, it feels random, and I never know what to say. Half my leads get lost before I even get back to them, and I'm pretty sure our brand looks different everywhere. We've got a logo from Fiverr, but then my cousin used something else on our shirts, and my website looks like it's from 2012. My question is this: how can I use AI to actually help me organize my leads, follow up better, and finally tell a story that makes sense to my customers without needing a huge marketing budget or a big team? So I put this question to both of you as the two experts that I know. How would you help out this individual?
You know, I think one of the first things is creating a brand identity kit, or, there's lots of names for this, but really land on where you want to be and how you want to show up. And it can change, right? It doesn't have to stay the same. And I think people get hung up because they feel like, oh my gosh, I got to choose it right now. Or if my logo is wrong, my company will fail forever, right? And so start there, right? And you can use AI to do that. In fact, John's got a branding bot that helps with that. John's got a bot for everything if you haven't figured it out yet. But
Got a bot for everything. I've got a bot for this.
you go through and figure out, if you're, on a shoestring budget, figure it out. And people will poo-poo on Fiverr all day long. But if that's what you got, get started, right? It's better to get started than wait till you have several $1,000s to get started. But ask it to guide you to how to brand your business better. Give it the logo that you had and ask it to use it for various things. It's not that you have to have it all together right at first. At least that's my take. What do you think, John?
Yeah, I think that's right. And thanks for writing in. You're not alone at all, man. Like this is what happens with a lot of businesses, right? They think that like you have a business and like you can have family help out and you can have this person help out. Well, the thing that happens is when you don't have a cohesive system together, everyone's doing their own thing. Everyone has their own mindset. Logos are looking different. Colors are different. Things just do not match up, to like what you're trying to do. One message, one brand, one color scheme, one idea, right? That's how it needs to be. I don't care what business you're in. Everything has to be cohesive. So for me, I just say like, you don't need a massive marketing team. That's number one, or a crazy budget. Like really, you don't. Like you got to tell the story. You got to put your business out there. Your story has to make sense with the people that you're trying to reach, right? And you have your daughter do it, and your daughter's like just sitting there and she's scribbling things in. Have her run it through an AI system after she scribbles it in, and then put your take on it what you want, like what you want your story to be. And that's how you can kind of get that cohesiveness together, because it'll take what you want and her and put it together. And that's why I think AI is so powerful, in keeping that stuff together. And then like, when you're talking about like how do you juggle, like, how do you with the leads and all that stuff, use an AI powered CRM. There's tools out there that can grab like every lead from your website, social media, texts, and even calls. And there's good ones out there, and we can definitely help you figure out which one is best for you. So if you need help, we can definitely reach out to you. We got your information. We just don't want to put it on blast on here.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Well,
it's all about being.
and just like this person wrote in, other people can write in, right? Like,
Mhm.
feel free to put it out there, and we'll take a look at it and give a few different ideas. But I love what you said. Hey, even if it's your daughter, right? It's sentimental. Run it through something that'll make it a little more professional for you and get that captured, right?
And if you have a really good, situation that you're dealing with, we'll bring you on here. And we'd love to get some businesses that we can talk about your solutions right on the
Put them in the
program.
hot seat.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, one thing that, we've been doing around places too is breaking down your website and breaking, in front of a group of people. And it's eye-opening to people when they start to see, it's still complex, but the solutions are relatively, pretty common sense wise when you start to understand the concepts behind how you can utilize AI in actual situations. But
I love that you said that. They're complex issues. If you know how to talk to your AI model, it'll become
yeah,
easier. And that's usually the biggest part of the starting part, right? Not to deviate too far, because we do that here. But right, just
right,
start.
right as I was trying to bring it back in,
I
you
know you're
you sent
running
down
it
a
in like
rabbit
ooh,
hole.
squirrel.
But that
But
is what we do
truly,
best here.
right? Give it a shot and try it. Don't make it overcomplicated. The systems are complicated, the results are complicated, the way AI works is complicated, but not in a usage case, right? Give it details, give it information, and see what you get, and then go from there. So, all right,
Yeah.
we can bring it back,
And
Tim. Now it's John's
oh,
turn.
go ahead, Tim. My bad. My bad, Tim. We're on a roll today. Go ahead, Tim.
No, go for it, man. You usually
No,
have relative information.
yeah, I was just gonna say, like, there's a lot of systems out there. You can literally just type in like, yo, like this is my company, right? This
Mhm.
is what we do. And that just goes back to like, when you're getting your brand story together, don't think you gotta be all like, have all the ins and outs of it. Just put in little bits, this is who we are, this is how we talk, and then have AI spit it out. And AI is going to spit it out and it's going to tell you exactly what that needs to be. But then you can go ahead and say, hey, no, I don't want that. And then it's not set in stone. So, you're going to get that clear message that you want, and it's going to break it down to make it easier.
Right. I mean, I tell people you're the director of the program. You're the one guiding it to where you need it to be. I
Exactly.
think a lot of people get the idea that AI is just going to spit out this solution for you. You're the one that needs to craft that. It will give you ideas, but you're the one that needs to craft that solution. So with this, I think you really need to lock in that brand story, and AI can help you do that. If you tell it your story, what is your story around your business? It's going to help you kind of hone in on the areas you need to focus on that story. That's one thing we do best here at Prompt Commander AI is help people figure out that story. We tell our own story of where we've come from and how the three of us came together. And that's part of our story of getting out there and helping, and we want to help others be able to tell that story out there. But I think one thing, and my question to you guys is, what is that real cost of having that inconsistent story, and how would you hone in your story? Maybe not like I would, but hone in the story and utilizing artificial intelligence.
Well, inconsistency for me is actually a good thing, right? Because then I can see where the problem lays, right? Right, where it lies. So like when I do when I do a brand story and I'm putting it together for a client, I make sure that I put everything. So I'll go on their website, I'll copy every single thing off of there, regardless if it's service, if it's contact, like whatever it is, I'm putting everything into that AI system. and it's going to go ahead and organize it into a way where it's going to tell, okay, yeah, here's the business, here's what it does. But then it's going to get so complicated that you'll start seeing those parts that you got to say, oh no, that's too much. We need to make that, easier to understand. Okay, cool. Then you're going through 15, 16 iterations. Remember, AI does not do the job for you. It helps you do the job, right? And so I don't I always try to get that through to clients, because they're like, oh, well, you just send it to me and I'll do it. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll send it to you and then you try it. And guess what? They always come back, because they're like, John, I don't know how you did this, but now it's different than what I got. Yeah, of course, because it's not that I just do one iteration. I'm doing 16, 17 iterations to get to that brand story. So it's not saving you time. It's just coordinating everything better, right? The only
I'll
way it
challenge that
saved you.
though. I think it's still saving you time, because if you're working on this on your own, those iterations still have to happen, but you have to come up totally from a blank slate all of the stuff that you put in there, right?
True.
So
Yeah,
it,
true.
it
Yeah,
does
you're
take
right.
time still. There is
You're right.
work, right? This is not, it's like dieting, right? There's not a magic pill for dieting. There's not a magic pill for studying. There's not a magic pill for, there's a lot of things that can help, but it's not a magic pill, right? And so I think that's the disconnect, is that people think, oh, I can just go tell it, hey, make me a brand. My colors are blue and purple and yellow, and I sell hot dogs,
Yeah.
and then you put it out there and it's amazing. You have the next Nike, and that's where I think it fails, and people want this just solution to come to them from a quick prompt.
Yeah, and I think you're right. Like, so let me go back, because I think you're right, and I gotta nail this down. It does save you time, right? But what I mean is, when I say it saves me time, it doesn't save me time. The reason why it doesn't save me time is because I'm still going in and doing all of the work, right? As
Mhm.
creative, we don't cut corners.
So
So,
you're
like,
saying, as the person that implements this, the
yes.
agency, the freelancer, the whatever, it isn't saving you time. It's allowing you to refine it better. I love that. Okay.
Exactly, and the only time that it does save you is because you don't have to create the graphics. Sometimes it can do it for you, right? But
Hmm.
you gotta remember that there's always gonna be changes within that brand every single time you're doing something. So like, you can't just, like you said, it's not a black pill. You can't just
Yeah.
do it, right? And be like, "All right, it's done." But to the average person, it saves them so much time, because they can go in, create a prompt for it. It'll come out, it'll spit out what they want, and then they'll use it. When you're a creative, it doesn't do that. So that's why, like, with this person, like, talking about having everything like together, yes, you can use AI and do it all yourself, but you're only going to get the mediocre AI, that is out there, right? It's not
Hmm.
going to break it down and put it into things like people like we would do it. So that's what I meant. And I had to break that down, because people were probably like, "You're crazy, man. Like, that saves me tons of time." Yes, it saves you tons of time, but as a creative, it only allows me to do more and have more things running at the same time. It doesn't really save me, that much time when I'm doing it. I'm learning that now. Before, I thought it was easy, but I'm telling you, like, once you get into it as a creative, it's like, AI, you suck, because you can't do what I'm telling. You know what I mean? So then you just got to break it down. But
Yeah.
yeah, it
All right. Back
definitely
to
saves.
back to
Right.
our listener. What?
But I think along with that too, I mean, my degree is in marketing, but you learn how to develop those brand guidelines, and you learn how to, keep things consistent. And I think AI can help you do that. If you tell it, like, these are my guidelines here, and we have GBTs that can help with that, and people can get access to those that will help them develop those guidelines, and then you can input that in there, and now you're consistently coming up with the same branding, whether it's social media content, posts, blog articles, whatever it is. You just need to you need that consistency there to get what you need out of it. Along with that, though, with it is, automating things. And, I think that's a key area just in messaging is, and Alan and I met with someone yesterday on, honing in on that, automation side of things and making sure consistencies are out there even in that. So in this scenario, how would you go about helping him, start to automate some of these messaging, side of things, or automating really anything in there to help make sure that his messaging comes across the same and his branding is more consistent?
So I would definitely pick a CRM that's AI powered. There's, you can go online and look up a list of things that, run off AI, like that run an AI system. I'd set up automated follow-up. So like what we're trying to do for him is to set up automation. And that's why when people say AI, it doesn't mean like it's all like technical and crazy. It just means that it's automated. It's an automated system for you to run that makes everything stay consistent. And then you have your technical AIs like your chat GPTs and, all those things that can go ahead and create brands, right? So we have to kind of separate that because people think it all can do the same thing. Chat GPT can't do everything that, that maybe something like a GHL can do, right? But we learn that. And so we have to break it up. So I'd pick a CRM that's AI powered. I don't know if you want to use it through somebody else to kind of put it together for you, because now you got to go and get all the leads that you have that are inconsistently everywhere, because we know how that goes. And we got to put that into the CRM. And then we got to put all the information in there to make sure that there's automated follow-ups. There's scheduled social and email content going out. Those are different AI tools. So you can see how even with the AI and trying to make it easy on you as a business owner, it can get out of hand. That's why you need people like us, consultants to come in and kind of show you the different AI and what needs to be in place. Because we see companies that run 4 or 5 different AIs at a time, and we have to stay consistent with all of those throughout. So, setting up automation is number one for me. So you got to pick those systems.
So let's break that down even more, because I talk to people, one, that don't even know what a CRM is or don't know what CRM to pick for and what to look for in a CRM. So how do you go about breaking that down even more for individuals like in this person?
A CRM is a client relationship manager, customer relationship manager, whatever it is that you want to call folks. But it's a place where you can hold all of your info. So I like to call it a new digital Rolodex, right? If you're an oldie like me, you know what a Rolodex is. And so it allows you to keep all that contact information somewhere. It goes far beyond that now. So a lot of them you can message within a portal to that specific client. You can add tasks, you can add reminders, you can add workflows that show where they are, you can add pipelines for your business, you can send automated emails and scheduling, you can do your social media, you can create funnels, you can do your reputation, give us a review. You can automate a lot of those elements as well, but this is why it's so much more. And there's different CRMs for different functions. And so we're not a one size fits all for CRMs for folks, right? This is why we come in and talk and see what you need. And so because our clients are on a few different CRMs based on their needs. And so using that to organize everything allows you to move forward more quickly. And then, like we talked about, you can automate certain elements of that.
This portion of Prompt Commander AI is brought to you by Gamma, the weapon of choice for creators who are done wasting time with clunky slide builders and outdated doc tools. Gamma turns your ideas into sleek, interactive content with just a prompt. Presentations, pages, decks, done. Test it out now at promptcommander.ai/gamma and see what happens when AI meets actual design power. Stop dragging. Start commanding.
Not all CRMs are created equally.
No.
And so it is important to understand that and ask those type of questions around it, because I think your CRM is so crucial before you even start, really deciding, how your messaging is going to go across. you need to kind of decide what that CRM is going to be. I've, in my previous roles, I've dealt from anywhere from Salesforce to specialized CRMs for chambers of commerce and nonprofits out there, to the things that we're doing now. And even that, it's not going to do everything that you want it to do, unless you're going to go out and pay a lot of money to do that. But you need to really focus in on what's important for your business and how you're going to capture all that information. Then we can go farther and start to, automate these processes. Alan and I mean, recently we've looked at CRMs that say workflow, but it it was the not anything that had anything to do with workflows.
It was a digital checklist that was more complex than it needed to be. So it wasn't like an actual workflow of, hey, I can move people in the I mean, it had that element, but it was truly like it didn't move people. You couldn't
Yeah.
automate elements. You couldn't, it was just a checklist, but way overbuilt and very cumbersome.
And that's why I say, like, you have to understand that when you have a CRM, it connects, right? So like your CRM is your base because it's got all your clients' information, it's got all the information that you need, but then you need things to get it out to the world. So you need to connect automations. So that's why I said, like, everything that you're running through your CRM, you want to automate so that it can go out, because you're not going to remember that. And I run into that with a lot of realtors who don't have a lot of time, and they have a CRM, and that CRM has automation and they don't use it because they don't have the time to get into it, right? Happy birthdays, things like that, like things that go out to your client that means something to them, that needs to be automated. Birthdays, anniversaries, things like that. Those are the things that really need to be in place first. Why? Because that's your client connection, right? All the other stuff can come later. If you don't have a place where you can capture people to come in as a client and then send them things, you're missing the whole part of marketing. It starts with the client first. And so that's why I said, like, bring that in. Then you're going to tie things in like Hootsuite or Buffer, which are huge, for connections, and different CRMs will connect to these, to these different systems so you can use them. And that's why it gets complex. It does. We're not here to sugarcoat and tell you that it's going to be easy, and that, you go on YouTube and you see a video and it says, do this in 5 minutes, put this together in 5 minutes. I laugh at those videos all the time because I'm like, okay, you're telling people that it's that easy, but it's not. We don't sugarcoat here. We're telling you that this can get complex. And that's why we're doing this podcast, so we can show you that even though the person that wrote in is like trying to say, yeah, I want everything easy, or I want everything automated, how do I use AI? This is how it goes. And you can see where our brains are right now. They're all over the place. They're like, here you go. This is what you need to connect. This is where you need to have your clients. It can get really complex. And that's why you need consultants to kind of put stuff together like that.
And beware of the ones that like promise you everything and it's going to be beautiful. I spoke with somebody yesterday who she runs a company. Well, she's the sales VP, and her boss or the owner was sold on, oh, we're going to bring you all these leads and we're going to do all this stuff, and our system's awesome, and we use our own proprietary blah blah blah. It was go high level, right? Like, we don't hide that. We use that as one of our systems.
And we also call out people who use Go High Level that say they don't use Go High Level.
Right, right. And
Yep.
and so here's the thing, they promised that it was going to do everything. There's nothing wrong with Go High Level, but it can't do everything. It does a lot, right? And some things it does really well, and other things I'm still on the fence about, right? But you have these agencies that hitch their wagon to, oh, Go High Level, ClickFunnels, Monday, Asana, blah blah blah, right? And so they get pretty good at using those and want that one solution to fit everybody. Remember that not all of those solutions fit. And a lot of these, like Go High Level, is very powerful, but there's a lot of customization. It's not just out of the box, right? There's good things out of the box, but if you want to go deeper and use it to its full potential, I mean, John and I, you and I were talking about, holy crap, we didn't know it did this. and we've been
Mm-hmm.
using it for a while, right? Like we just started finding other things, and so it's that case study and that usage that makes it so that we are like, oh, okay, we don't know everything about this.
Right. And when you got to implement those things, think about it. What Alan just said, it's like, man, we didn't even know about that, right? Because the only reason I found out about it is because I went on YouTube and I seen them put out a new video. So those are the things that you would have to do in order to implement those things. You'd have to watch an hour video. You'd have to watch the video to kind of find out what it is. That's what we do, right? That's part of our job. That's why, the other thing is like people like to put out these like the easy packages, right? Like you can put out a package, but never put like a permanent price on that package. Hey, between 10 and 15 grand. Right? Why? Because there's a lot of things that go into that package that has to be done. Sometimes there's learning involved. What if you've never worked with that type of business before? Now you have to learn on the job, just like they would have to learn, but they're hiring you to do it. Right. And so it's the same exact thing. So we have to be open when we talk to people about what we're doing and what to expect. I'll never come into a meeting and tell you this is going to be easy. Like this is going to be fast
And a
because
lot of people are looking for that when you come in and they're like, hey, can you just help me fix this? They don't understand, like, we've really got to dive in and understand your processes. We've got to see where, how you're using those processes for one, because it may just be, and we've had these conversations recently, it may be they're just using their systems wrong because they haven't educated themselves on what the platforms that they've already got in place. And then it's just, just use your stuff right. But, it's not an easy fix as you're going through this process. But if you educate yourself and you learn it, and you're going to have trial and error out there of, figuring out what's going to work best for you. You may go through a couple different platforms, and which is hard because we all know moving from one CRM to the next, sometimes isn't the biggest treat out there. But, you have to I think it comes down to mindset too. Like, how much do you want your business to be successful, especially as we move into this, more AI relevant world out there? And you've got to stay open-minded because things are shifting every single day. But as you get that CRM in place, as we've been talking about this, wanting your guys' thoughts on, now I'm moving into content creation. How can I utilize AI to do that? And how can I get that AI to stay? We talk about consistency in that story. How do I get that to stay consistent throughout all of my content?
Me.
Oh, it's school all over again. Alan, you're up, man.
What you do is you tell it your business name, you tell it your business type, and then you say, write social media for me. And hit enter.
that's it. Fast and
And then you're
simple.
done. It
And
did
the
the
rest
thinking for you.
Yeah,
The
tell it how
rest
many you
falls in
want.
place.
But that's a
If
good
you want
point. So
5
many
posts.
people think that. And I've been trying to get people, you got to think past, type me an email about this. And I say that a lot, but you have to push forward this. I think this is going to separate, the businesses that succeed and the businesses that are going to be, they'll still be around. And Alan and I were talking about this yesterday. Businesses who don't, because, I hate to fearmonger, but I've told people you're not going to be around if you use this. And then Alan and I got talking, you may be around because there's still people out there who are using old school marketing tactics, right? I know people still publishing ads in the paper and it's working for them. So you'll still be out there, you'll still attract things, but are you going to be as successful as your competitors are without using AI?
Well, and knowing that knowledge, right? Like having that understanding. So I was talking to somebody yesterday and they do surveillance stuff, right? Like don't want to give, like, we'll keep them quiet a little bit. So we'll just tell their story, but they do surveillance stuff, cameras and things like that. And they had a marketing company that promised them the world. And then they went in and said, oh, we're going to write you emails and we're going to do this. And so they're B2B, they're business to business, right? And the email they wrote to try to market to these business folks is, oh, well, there might be, we'll catch a raccoon out there that's being a pest, and we'll capture it on camera and blah blah blah. The main businesses don't usually care about that. right? And so we talked about people who are also using AI and some skills in being able to develop a quick site and things like that, and say, hey, you need people who understand business, not just people who play at business, right? Because how many business consultants do we know that don't do anything? How many business consultants that are out there that say they can do the world, they can't do hardly anything unless it goes perfect. And so, in talking to this person, I said, hey, when they were talking to you guys, did they say their systems are not cheap, right? You're going to spend anywhere from 3,500 to 30,000, depending on how big your area is and how much you need and all that. And so I said, did you ever get the talk about this? Not only protects your store and you can capture somebody who's stealing and get the AI to recognize them and run all that kind of stuff, but also you get false claims, right? Somebody says they slipped in your parking lot because you didn't have it shoveled from the snow, or there's too much rain or oil slicks or whatever. And we've all seen those grocery store videos where it's like, I have fallen, and then they like
Yeah.
slide down because they saw a wet floor sign or whatever, or saw the guy mopping and didn't put the wet floor sign, and then they slip and then can sue, right?
Mhm.
Just one of those cases saved with this archived video would save you thousands. And so it's that kind of stuff, right? Like, did you ever market it that way? Did you ever talk about how you can make your employees and customers feel safer because now there's a deterrent there, right? It's not going to stop everybody, but it does deter. And so changing that from those varmints, I don't want them at my store, and to real, B2B conversations.
Yeah, and the content, like, and so, like, when I look at, content, and I'm looking at, like, what it means for the business, right? I'm looking for what the business owner says about the business, because he knows the most about it. 30 The problem is before, we'd have to wait until he would set up a meeting with us and get on a call and write down everything and then put it in and then do it ourselves, right? Or go to an editorial who can, write it out the way that it needs to be written out. Well, the good thing about using the AI system to tell the content is that I can record a conversation with me and the owner the first time we have a conversation, and then put it into AI and let AI figure out, between that conversation, what he's talking about the business about. Pop it in there, and then it'll come up with, whatever it comes up with. And then you say, look, you got to stay consistent, you know?
Sorry, I was on mute. But I was saying there's all these recorders out there, right? Zoom has where you can record the convo and the AI assistant will transcribe. You've got, what is it,
Mhm.
Plod and Note, or maybe they might be the same thing. But those wearables or the little cards, you just hit record. I think one of your council members on your city council does that. And so he
Yeah,
was
you
telling
got
me about it. He's
Otter, you
like,
got all kinds of stuff out there.
yeah, and he just pushes his little necklace or the bracelet or whatever, and it records, and then he can have all the notes where he can still take notes but highly focus on the very important stuff and not have to waste all that brain power to say, okay, I got to make sure I capture every single thing that was said.
It allows you to go back, and I like kids, you can go back and reference, "Oh, this is where I took this note," and you can go back
Mhm.
and listen to, exactly what transpired.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
that's another AI, like,
that's what I mean. There's a lot of stuff out there that can be
yeah.
used.
But that's where we come into play, is helping you navigate that. We talk about navigating the hot garbage. I'll just say you're navigating the bullshit out there because there's a lot. It's amazing how much is out there, though. It's just I think it's quickly getting to a point where we've said this before. Either you need to have someone that is handling your AI, or you need to bring someone in like us that can look at things, because we can look at the AI, we can tell you, is it garbage or not? And we've had quite a few success stories of this lately, of going in, seeing what they're using. Some of them haven't even got past the free trial period of what it does. So let us take a look at that. Let's help you develop this story out there, because this is your business. This is costing you money. And we don't want to see you just throwing money down the toilet with some of these platforms out there that are that hot garbage.
Or just wrong for you, right? They might be
Right.
hot garbage for you because you don't know how to use them, or they're not built for your industry, lots of different things. And with this person that wrote in, right, we don't want you to feel overwhelmed, but we do want to be realist about how much it will take to actually put this together, right? It's not a Fiverr's great, and like I said, use that if that's what you got to use to get started, but that's not a game plan, right? And no shade on that platform, it serves its purpose, but it's not a whole plan, right?
But
It's
start
not
somewhere, right?
get started.
We talk
Most
about
definitely.
starting slow to move quick, and that's going to get you started. And another direction I wanted to head with this, because I wanted to talk about the website stuff. His website's from 2012. How can he increase that and change that? But you're going to have to start somewhere with that.
This segment of Prompt Commander AI is brought to you by LearnWorlds, because your genius deserves more than a cookie-cutter course platform. Tired of boring, broken learning tools? LearnWorlds gives you full control to build, brand, and actually engage your audience without being boxed in like on other course platforms. Level up your course. Blow past basic. Head to promptcommander.ai/learnworlds and see why smart creators are making the switch. Create smarter, teach louder, own your platform.
Well, and there's website hosts and other platforms that will do AI generation. Some look okay, some are simple, and so it depends on your need, right? John is our. I mean, we can all do some of it, but John's the expert on that. So let's defer to the master.
So what I'm starting to see is that everybody is starting to implement an AI website builder, right? They're just jumping on and saying, "Hey, create your website." And remember, people will go with the first iteration that pops up. Yeah, this looks great. The problem with that is that the whole internet is going to start looking just like that. So everybody who's building their website, it's going to look like hot garbage, right?
Yeah.
That's the word. So that's why people got to understand, don't let the hype ruin your brand, because
Right.
that is what's going to happen. The fast, the simple, here you go. Everything else will just fall in place. Here's a logo from Fiverr. I'm just popping on the website. It'll look beautiful. It's not about that. It's about systems, right? It's about systems. You can have your website looking like 2012 and still get more traffic than the person that's up there.
Yes.
Doesn't
Good
matter.
point. Very good point.
It's like the realtor. It's like the realtor who did not buy in to the online and still goes door to door. That man is still getting sales, right? He's still selling properties. He likes the hard work, right? He likes to do it that way. So you can still have that 2012 look and still get a ton of traffic, a ton of people.
I was talking to somebody yesterday about a site, right? So they had it. It looks nice. Then I went in. There's no on-page SEO. There's no this. There's no that, right? And so I said, look, you have a beautiful site, but you don't want artwork. You want what a website can do, and that's where I think people get it twisted. Is that they're like, oh, well, my site is awesome. It can be as awesome as you want it to be, but if nobody's seeing it, then it sucks. Oh, and if there's not a real easy customer journey on there, then it sucks, right? It doesn't mean it's not pretty. And so some of the ugliest sites some of those sites that make the most money are so ugly. It makes me cringe. But they are the ones making the money because, like you said, they have the systems in place. They have all these other things. And so don't think that websites are just the prettiness. Anybody can make you a pretty site. And I say that all the time. But the reason that we're not the cheapest is because we're not just making pretty. We actually make it and give it what I love to call Google juice, right? Feed Google and any of the other scrapers out there what they want, and let them know what's important on your site so that then they can help you find customers.
Right. And you can have a beautiful frame on a car like a Lamborghini, right? But it matters what's in that engine, right? Or what that engine is. And so a lot of people that I run into think that like you said, like they're beautified. They love to look at like, oh, this is great. Look how this works. Look how that works. Now there are some sectors where you want your website to have these different hover effects and animations. What really matters as a local business, especially flooring or anything like that, is your messaging and your outreach. What is your outreach? How are you getting people to that page to fill it out so you can put them in your CRM and you can do outreach to them and keep them consistently going out? That's a whole system, right? And so, that's the big thing. Systems are what make the website, not the website design. Design does not mean anything. So keep that 2012 look and just build the engine inside of it.
Love it. Or make it pretty and build the engine, right?
You
It can be
could do
both.
that, but like it goes back to this, right? If you let like a lot of people, startups, right? For instance, startups will come and they'll say, "Hey, I need to build a website," and I'll say, "What do you need the website for?" Because I'm starting a clothing brand. I'm like, "Okay, you're starting a clothing brand. Do you have clothes?" No, I don't have the clothes. I just have the idea. Okay, so what is the website for? Well, everybody has a website, and I need a website. And I'm like, listen, you need a product first. Your product needs to start selling.
John, you're going to have a lot of developers mad at you, man.
I don't care. I really don't care, because the way that I feel is that they push the website first. You need the product. You need to
Yes.
know your service first. You
And
need
you don't
to
have
start
to have it in hand, but you at least need to know what the heck you're going to sell.
right, but you need it. The only time you need it in hand is when you need money to build your business, to build your
Right.
website, to build
Right.
your marketing. So you have to start selling first. You don't. When a plane goes, and it's going straight, it doesn't go back. It just keeps going forward. It keeps gliding. Your business needs to be like that. Your business needs to stay up in the air. And so you need to sell products. Then when you have enough money to put into building a website, then you build the website, because now you can afford to drop $5,000, $6,000 on a website that looks good, that has the animations you want, hover. If you build that website first, you're making a big mistake. And a lot of developers and designers will tell you, nope, you need a website first. It's not true. Your messaging matters more than your website. Your product means more than your website. Your service means more than your website. And your outreach. And if you can't afford to do automatic outreach at first, you do the thing that the realtor does and go door to door, get those
Knocking
people
on
in.
doors.
Yep. Get those people in. And then after you have the money to do it, then you put an AI system in place.
Love it. Love it.
Great points. I think this has been something that's really can hit home to a lot of business owners, and I think that start to apply these things, see what's going to work for you. If you need to bring in someone like us, then reach out to us. We love to help with develop those plans and help develop that story. But this is going to wrap up today's episode. So if anything did hit home and it felt familiar, if you're dealing with lost leads, ads that are going nowhere out there, just know you're not alone out there. There's solutions that can help you. So reach out to those people who know what they're doing, and don't be afraid to ask those difficult questions out there about what's going to help your business. And I think it's important to note that AI isn't going to replace your voice. That's still relevant. It always will be relevant out there. But AI is going to help you amplify it. It's going to make sure that your message shows up on time and in a right way and to the right people out there. And that's your target market that you're trying to reach out to. So if you're ready to organize your leads or tighten up that message and stop guessing with your marketing, we're definitely there to help. And we would love to help. So reach out to us. The contact information for us will be in the description there. Thank you for sending in this very, hitting email to us. Please send more. Please reach out to us. We want to take on these hard topics out there, and we'd love to even get you on a program. So until next time, let's stay sharp, stay real, and just remember, stay human, let AI do the boring stuff for you. And thank you, gentlemen.
Have a good one,
Thank
guys.
you. Have a good one.
Command the code, scale with precision. AI playbook built for decision. Process tight, we move with vision. 3 minds lead in the next edition. Command the code, optimize moves. From the data to the brand we improve. Unlock growth, set strategy. work. Every prompt clean, every step got purpose. Streamline tasks, automate flows, turn your ops to a beast, watch efficiency grow. John breaks walls with a code first brain, rewriting limits, real-time game. Allan, everyday scope made smooth. He maps the mission while the system grooves. Tim got tools for the team to win. Plug it in once, watch success begin. Corporate sharp, enterprise smart. We don't chase trends, we build from the start.